If you're wondering why your life isn't producing fruit, you might not need a new season. You might need diligence. Let me explain. Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Virtuous Woman Series. Today, I'm answering a question many women never ask: why diligence, and why does a diligent woman actually produce fruit? Let's start here. I want you to think of an assembly line, a production line. The output is always determined by the input. In other words, whatever you put in determines what comes out. In the same way, a woman's ability to produce is not rooted in exhaustion or striving, but overflow. She produces because she is overfilled, filled with wisdom, vision, discipline, and the presence of God. Diligence speaks of work ethic, not busyness. It is the opposite of laziness, chaos, and inconsistency. It is focused, intentional labor guided by purpose. Diligence follows a divine order: vision, plan, execution, and provision. And when diligence is applied with wisdom and faith, it always produces fruit. Not just activity, not just movement, but lasting kingdom-centered fruit. Proverbs 31:13-14 says, "She looks for wool and flax and works with willing hands and delight. She is like the merchant ships. She brings her food from far away." When we read this, it becomes clear that to understand diligence, we must unpack what it actually is being revealed. What I discovered is that wool comes from the top of the sheep's fleece. But what's important to note is that although wool is a material used for covering, protection, and warmth, the Hebrew word also carries the idea of something shaggy, even referring to the top of the tree. So the question becomes, how are wool and the top of the tree connected? The connection reveals something deeper about the diligent woman. She gathers the best, the fullness, the richest materials, a symbol of excellence. She works from a place of abundance and not of a lack. She doesn't scrape from the bottom. She reaches for the top. She brings things that covers, protects, clothes, and builds, just like a strong tree with a full crown that shelters those beneath it. And then we have flax, a material that requires intentional gathering, process, and preparation. What does this imply? Diligence requires a measure of seeking. It's reaching beyond what is immediately in front of you. It's doing the necessary work to access what may not be within easy reach. A diligent woman is one who sees the materials from afar, the wool, the flax, and the resources God has positioned, and does whatever she must do to take hold of them so she can dispense what she has gathered. She is like the merchant ships, abundant, resourceful, and able to produce not only for herself, but for her household and others. Because she is compared to merchant ships, we understand that her efforts are not small or short-sighted. Merchant ships travel long distances to gather valuable goods, not merely for survival, but for abundance and distribution. This woman produces not only for herself, but for her household and others. Her diligence results in overflow. And to put this in perspective, imagine a woman standing before a large, towering tree. Its branches and leaves blocks her view, yet from afar, she sees a flax at the top, the necessary material she needs. She has vision. She sees what is required long before she has it in her hands. Then vision leads to planning. She strategizes how she will reach to the top. She thinks through her steps. She prepares. Then planning leads to execution. She climbs, she stretches, she reaches beyond comfort and does what many will not do. And because she sought out, planned for it, and reached for it, she's able to gather the materials God placed there and then provide for others out of what she has taken hold of. This is diligence: vision, plan, execution, and provision. A diligent woman is not idle. She is intentional. She is willing, and she stretches beyond what is convenient to lay hold of what God has made available. And because of that, she produces fruit abundantly. The diligent woman is not lazy. Because the diligent woman has provision, she is not lazy. She is a hard worker, a true hustler in the kingdom. She is occupied with God and with the kingdom assignments. Though she is ambitious, driven, and motivated, her heart is aligned with Christ. Her ambition is not self-serving. It is surrendered, and she desires only what God desires. Proverbs 31:17 says, "She equips herself with strength and makes her arms strong." This reveals that God is the only source of strength, and she goes directly to the source. She is not lazy or weak, but equipped with spiritual, mental, and physical fitness for God-given assignments. She has no time to waste and no room for distraction because she is a woman of provision, purpose, and divine focus. The diligent woman is fearless. Proverbs 31:21 says, "She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed in scarlet." A diligent woman rooted in Christ becomes fearless. Her courage isn't personality, it's position. She knows she is held in the palm of the Creator, of the King, of the ruler, of the defender who destroys every enemy that rises against her. And because of this, nothing can stop her from walking in her God-given provision. No snow, no cold, no storm, no demon, and no spirit. Her eyes are locked on Jesus. She stands guard over her home and fights her battles through prayer and not panic. She is dedicated, confrontational in the spirit, and unwavering because she knows who backs her. And the result of a diligent, fearless woman, she produces riches, spiritual, emotional, and even material, because fear never stops her movement, her obedience, or her assignment. Her diligence, both in prayer and every work she sets her hands to, produces fruit. And the fruit does not remain hidden. It becomes undeniably visible, evident in her life, her character, and her results. The diligent woman is seen. In Proverbs 22:29 says, "Do you see a man who excels in their work? They will stand before kings. They will not stand before obscure men." Her visible fruit glorifies God, and in doing so, a diligent woman draws attention not because she seeks it, but because the excellence and overflow produced by her consistency naturally attracts them. Her discipline in the secret place and her commitment in daily responsibilities create a visible harvest that cannot be ignored. Her works speak for her. This is the diligent woman, the one who seeks, plans, achieves, and executes. She is not the woman who wastes her days scrolling on the phone or drifting through life distracted. She is the productive woman who takes action, who gets things done, and whose results speak louder than her words. Her discipline sets her apart. Her focus bears fruit, and her consistency becomes the evidence of her character. And that is all for today. Thank you so much, beautiful woman of God. I hope this video was a blessing to you. And if it was, please like this video, subscribe, and share this with other women that need to hear this. I will see you back here next week for another episode of the Virtuous Woman Series. Thank you.